welcome to level 39. Hopefully some of you have been here before, but obviously a very interesting location in terms of the companies that are based here, about 200 fintechs. And also welcome from UCL School of Management. So this conference is over 2 floors in 2 days. So we've got the main floor up here, and then there are a series of workshops and the sort of booths for sponsors downstairs. So my name's Alastair Moore. I teach on the Business Analytics program at the School of Management. School of Management is fairly new in terms of UCL. It came out of sort of a department for management, science and innovation. And this year we just started our first MBA program. And the school itself has a focus on sort of innovation, analytics, entrepreneurship, the sort of newer specialisms in terms of management science. The program that I teach has been running for a couple of years now, and it's sort of introductory machine learning and a very wide variety of applications. If I think back over the last sort of 10 years, my background's obviously a sort of signal processing type agenda, and I now find myself in the School of Management. And I think the interesting thing is, whilst there are some definite improvements, particularly in terms of availability of compute and the sort of tool chains, the engineering of some of this machine learning type activity has become a lot easier in recent years. Right? If I cast my mind back even 5 or 6 years ago, some of the leading people working in neural networks will have still been mucking around in MATLAB on one machine. And now there's a whole host of tools coming on stream to make this stuff a lot easier. And I think one of the interesting things is the variety of applications that are possible. Even for sort of low-hanging fruit that don't need bleeding-edge technologies. If I look at the student projects that we've done over the last few years, we've got everything from predicting insurance premiums based on the performance of directors through to looking at marketing spend for artists off streaming sites, through to retail applications, looking at footfall. And so there are a very broad number of places where some of this new emerging technology will work. And I think there's not enough focus on the real world applications and how to actually take some of the stuff that's working at scale in 3 or 4 of the larger tech companies and looking at all the different places where it can be applied. And hopefully this is what PAPIs will do. We'll show a very broad range of different applications for some of these technologies. And with that, I hope you enjoy the 2 days. And I hand you over to Louis, who's going to tell you all about what is actually going on. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Alastair. I work with Alastair also outside of PAPIs. I co-teach one of the modules at School of Management. And I run these conferences, the PAPIs conferences, with other people that you meet during the conference. I also help people get started with machine learning and things. And I watch TV series. I'm a big fan of, does anyone know Piper? Yeah? Yeah, right. So I'm a big fan of Silicon Valley. I guess several of us are. And if you're also a fan, there's a PAPIs t-shirt to grab downstairs for some of you. We don't have that many, but we have some. We love funny t-shirts. We love spoofs. And that was the poster for the last conference we did in Boston. What is really nice is that I'm seeing some faces of people who are in Boston. So it's very good to see that people are coming back to our conferences. There's also a few of you who were at our previous event in Europe that was in Valencia in 2016. So yeah, very happy to have you with us again. And that's the poster for this edition. Maybe a little bit harder to understand, but if you've seen Die Hard, then you probably know what I mean. If you haven't, watch it tonight. So yeah, EPKI, my friend. Yeah, Die Hard, and yeah, I thought that the tower, the Nakatomi Tower, kind of looked like the Canary Wharf Tower, so that's where it started from. No, I think that was Brice's idea. Where's Brice? Anyways. And yeah, that's what he says, and it sounds kind of like EPKI, so yeah. The other sort of spoof that we have is this one. Where basically we replaced machine gun with machine learning, and there you go. Also available downstairs. There's a bunch of things that are available downstairs. All right, there's Wi-Fi both here and below different networks. So below is UCL School of Management, so different network. All the practical information, Wi-Fi and so on, is available on the mobile app. So you can, if you didn't have time to catch that, try to connect via 3G or 4G, and then you'll be able to find it from the mobile app. This is where we are on social media. Obviously, I'm giving you the Wi-Fi network so that you can connect and tweet about the conference, right? So that's the hashtag to use. And yeah, I mentioned the mobile app. This is what it looks like. Oh, wait. This is what the website looks like on your mobile. So just go to PAPIs.io, click on that thing at the top, and then that's the sort of mobile view of the schedule, which you can personalize. You can add that to your home screen, and I think that would be way more practical than having paper schedules. I know that people still want to have paper schedules sometimes, but we're trying to go paperless. And you should be able to log in via the using the email address that you registered from. But right, I'm just going to skip that video. But basically, that's where you'll find everything, including that practical info page, which I think is available in the menu. If you click on the top left icon, yeah, you'll find it. Cool, so level 38 is just below us. As I said, that's where you'll find some of our cool t-shirts. That's also where our expo area is, so that's where you'll be able to meet and speak with some of our sponsors, but also some of the startups that are pitching and are participating in this startup competition, in our AI startup battle. T-shirts, lunch, all right, that's a good reason to get the lift down to level 38. Drinks in the evening, another very good reason. And right, there's a third track, there's two tracks going on here, so this is like the main room, and there's another room just behind. The third track is downstairs, and that's where you'll find the product workshops and tutorials. And if we're running out of tea and coffee during the breaks, you can find more downstairs as well. Videos, this is being filmed, so hi YouTube. I don't know how many people on the stream, maybe not that many, but live streaming and video recording, right? So if you're not sure about which talk to attend, go to another room, not this one, because this is being filmed, so you should be able to catch up by just going to YouTube. If you can't remember that URL, just search for PAPIs.io on YouTube. And that's it. That's all the wonderful people also who are supporting this conference, so many thanks to all of them. These are the wonderful people who have put together the program of this conference. So Alastair just said a couple of words. And I'd like to, Tom will be around at some point. Oh, Tom is here, great. And I'd like to hand over to Florian, who was one of our program chairs, to tell you a little bit more about today's program.
Thank you, Louis. So I'm responsible to give you an outline of today's program, which is a big task. And so today the weather should be sunny. And on the so today would be about industry and startup and fun, obviously, whereas tomorrow would be about machine learning and research and fun, obviously too. So today we'll start with a main track in this room until the coffee break, 10:30. Then we could split with, here's a session you've got downstairs on level 39, which would be mostly workshops. Then on the morning, you would have to choose between creative AI, kind of generative design and so on, and machine learning in production. That's a tough choice. But you will have to choose between this room and the room back to you for those two tracks, possibly. And in the afternoon, we'll have some machine learning on the trench and organizational changes for machine learning. Again, this track is here in this room, and this track is in the room behind you. Then we've got coffee again, and startup pitches, AI startup battle, and investor stuff, and drinks. Tomorrow we start again with the main track until coffee break with lots of demos. Then we again have 2 tracks in parallel. One would be mostly tools and demos. So if you want to have a good overview of all the possible tools around, that would be the track to follow. Otherwise, we have more like a research track around feature engineering and data transformation, leveraging machine learning, and so on. And then in the afternoon, again, 3 tracks in parallel. One would be about applications of machine learning in several fields, including image. One focusing more on distributed on deep learning. And again, workshops and tutorial on level 38. And then, unfortunately, at some point, we'll have to quit the conference and get back to your home for your weekend.